Hi everyone, so I have my 2014 favorites here, mostly beauty, maybe a couple of miscellaneous things at the end, and I'm just gonna get into it because otherwise you know this video is going to take forever. I would say if I have a blemish that's like really unattractive but not peeling, just big and oily and gross, I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer in shade number 1. It is a little bit pink toned, but it works. It's easy to just kind of pat over a blemish. You can use a brush, you can kind of pinpoint. It's nice. If I have a really like oily, big blemish like happening on my chin down here, it's only going to last a few hours before it really starts to break down, but that's better than some concealers I've tried which break down after an hour. You know, I might get 4 hours out of this. It's good. It's good stuff. And I can use it on different parts of my face. It's very pigmented. I can mix it in with moisturizer. So I do really enjoy this product. And if you are looking for something that's nicely pigmented, has a large range of colors, then I would definitely suggest checking that one out. In the kind of oily range, these blotting sheets, these are the up and up version of the Clean and Clear oil absorbing sheets. So they're kind of, they almost feel like plasticky, sort of. I feel like these pick up a lot of oil per sheet, and I can actually use it once during the day and then reuse that sheet later in the day. My skin seems to have gotten a little more oily again in the T-zone, to be kind of moderately oily in the T-zone. So having those blotting sheets, they don't disturb the makeup, they're a good price, and I really like the Clean and Clear ones, but the Up and Up ones are just as good. So definitely recommend those. What am I saying? I would recommend everything in this video. Most likely. I would assume so. If it's a favorite, I would recommend it, right? I think so. Under eye concealer, this is probably not a surprise, but the CoverGirl+Olay, the depuffer. This is the one that has the little metal tip on the end. You're supposed to like run it underneath your eyes and it's supposed to depuff. It doesn't depuff anything. It's not really a corrector shade. It's not super pigmented, but it doesn't make my under eyes look cakey. And that is so amazing because everything does for me. And when I set it with the NARS light reflecting setting powder, it doesn't crease more than a little teeny tiny bit. So that's just this combo for me. I've been loving just because it sits under my eyes so nicely, and everything, no matter how creamy it was, it never did. It always looked dried out by the end of the day. And this looks almost the same at the end of the day as it does in the beginning. It's not going to cover a whole lot. You might want to use a corrector underneath it that's really a thin texture, but this is just, it feels like a very luxurious product. Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So this is the only thing that I can use to make liquid products consistently work for my face. Some foundations still will not work with this now, but I am working on this problem. I am going to make my cheeks not be so dry at some point. Right now, everything I put on them, they look dry. I mean, even that like really emollient under eye concealer, it goes on quite nicely. I put it on my cheeks yesterday. They were very dry until the end of the day where they looked slightly not dry. I don't even know how that happened. So mine's getting a little beat up with washing. It's starting to tear a little. If you have fingernails, you do have to, well, if you have long fingernails, you have to be careful not to kind of rip into this when you're washing it. I have found it just applies makeup so nicely. Today I used the Misha Signature Real Complete number 13 with this, and I think I used it dry just to try it out, and actually worked really nicely dry. Right now it's all plumped up because I just washed it. And yeah, I haven't had any staining issues. The places where I thought I might have a little bit of a stain, I used an oil and then followed up, kind of used it in oil, massaged it in, and then used a regular soap, and then really gave it a very thorough washing, and it looks as good as new. So I really, really like that. And that's very cheap. It's only like $6, somewhere around there. So I love how cheap that is. So something highlighter. I've always loved highlighter. They're just so much fun. And this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Pearl. And This is a ginormous bottle. It's 1.7 ounces, so I've only used like this much. Granted, I don't use it consistently all the time. If I was using this the way I used it today, every day, I could probably finish a bottle before it started to separate or turn. I don't know if I will be able to with this one. But the nice thing is now they have travel size of these Shimmering Skin Perfectors, except I don't think there's a travel size of Pearl. Pearl is just the nicest, like, invisible highlight. So it just adds like a natural looking sheen. This one, I cannot see visible shimmers in the sunlight except for little teeny tiny specks. Everything else I have tried, you can see it. This one is almost invisible, so it's just super subtle, just adds some life back into my skin, some sheen, especially since my cheeks have been so dry. Today I actually used the sponge and kind of patted this all over my cheeks where they tend to look very dry. And yeah, just adds a little life back into my skin, and you can use a little more concentrated and get a really nice just shine without looking greasy, and also without any sort of color being brought into the mix. So such a nice product. I did buy the little trio of the minis, and I think that's a great size. And so far I really like Opal and the Champagne Gold. I think they're very nice, and I'm saving the Pearl for something else perhaps. So another highlight I've really been enjoying, the Laura Mercier, oh, did you see that? I almost dropped it. Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder. How's that for a name? And this is in 01 Highlight 01. And this has more of a peach tone. In direct sunlight, you can see very small visible shimmer, but it's nothing egregious. Some highlighters, I find that there's not enough sparkles, so all you see if you're in direct sunlight is kind of like, it looks like small pieces of glitter on your face, which is kind of unfortunate. This one definitely does wear nicely in direct sunlight, so it's good for every day. It's very subtle. It does have a little bit of a peachy tone to it, but not so much that it looks like really peach on my face, since I do have more of a very fair skin tone. Any sort of color will be accentuated, and that one is nice, subtle, but not too colored. So I really do like that highlight, and that is the like deluxe sample size or something like that. It came in the Sephora, had a 500 point kit from Laura Mercier. So oh, by the way, I do have a review and demo where I show applying this CoverGirl+Olay, the depuffer, so I will link that below in case you're curious. And same with this Cosmetics My Sculpted Face palette. I have a demo of kind of a subtle contour. I did not use this today because I wasn't planning on redoing this video today, but here I am. I like every shade in this palette, and I can use it for a couple different things, for highlighting and contouring my face or my eyes, which makes it just kind of like, it's a bunch of crease colors basically in a little palette that I keep in my drawer of my little tiny vanity. So I really like this kind of light rosier brown contouring. I either use those two, or I use this one and then a tiny bit of the really deep one. The orange is more orange tone color. I usually just use on my eyes. I don't use that on my face. The matte white isn't super pigmented, but it is nice to have. A lot of times I'll just kind of go over things here. It will help kind of bring down if I have too much blush happening, possibly add a little bit of a highlight. The shimmery color, I've heard it's mentioned that it was pink. To me, it's white. If it's pink, it's like the lightest pink possible. Very, very shimmery. A little difficult to wear on your face, but really nice for highlighting around your eyes. Really good product. I think it's nicely priced. It's easy to get at Ulta. Ulta has a lot of coupons, unlike Sephora. Unfortunately, this was limited edition, not this past holiday, but the previous holiday. It's the Tarte Off the Cuff blush palette. But I would use this blush palette probably more than any other blush that I have. it's just got such a nice range of colors, and they're basically all matte. There's a little bit of sparkle in this like plummy one, but I don't think it's really anything that shows. It doesn't have a sheen. So sometimes this can be a little too matte since my cheeks have been so dry, but I could just go over with something like that liquid highlighter and it will kind of bring it back to life. And that's another thing about that Becca Pearl, is that you can put it on top of powder products and it looks fine. It never gets that kind of cakey, weird. Sometimes you put a liquid on top of powder, it just doesn't do that, so that's really nice. So my favorite is probably Doll Face, and that is permanent. So I have heard that the Milani Baked Matte Blush, I think it's like Dolce Pink or something like that, is really, really similar to Doll Face. So if you're looking for a drugstore dupe, I would definitely recommend looking at that before buying the Tarte version. I had kind of a love affair with this color tone of lip products. This is the Rimmel Exaggerate Lip Pencil in Innocent, and I have almost used that up, which is crazy. I don't love this lip pencil formula. I don't like how little product you get. I don't like a lot of things about it, but I love the color. So I found that the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipstick in Nude Embrace is very similar, and I have just really loved this color tone. I think if you have a warm, fair skin tone, especially if you have freckles, I think this is just kind of a no-brainer color. And it's kind of on trend with that brownish toned things. So I have really loved the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks. Matte lipsticks in general I have really loved. I also like these Rimmel Kate Matte lipsticks. This one is in 104, which is kind of a rose tone. What I'm wearing today, and these do have a kind of, it's like a sweet violet scent, I think, which oddly I like the smell of, which is really strange because in general I don't like floral scents on my lips. But that one, because it's sweet and I like violet, yeah. What I'm wearing today is Mesmerizing Magenta. Here's that 104 for the Rimmel Kate Moss Matte Lip colors. Yeah, really loving the mattes. Love that creamy matte formula. I like the Kate Moss one. I'm just repeating myself now. And I love these colors. Those are the lip things. Oh, and also the Laura Mercier lip glosses. So I have a couple full size of these. I have a couple of the minis, and I can use this basically instead of my lanolin for lip balm. It does have lanolin oil pretty high in the ingredient list, and it seems to just really agree with my lips. So if I don't have anything else, or I just am too lazy to get a lip balm out, I want some color, I'll just slap on those lip glosses and my lips stay pretty happy. So really do like those. I just don't like the price of them because they are so expensive. I think that's everything for lips. Since I'm talking about so much Laura Mercier stuff, I might as well just mention this now. This is the Ambre Vanille Souffle Body Cream, and this is the little deluxe sample size. When you order from LauraMercier.com, you get to choose 2 deluxe samples, and the samples they have are really nice. They're big, they're of desirable things. So I got this, and at first I wasn't so sure about the scent. I kind of liked it, but I wasn't really sure what to think about it, and it really grew on me, and I have just been lusting over the fragrance for this, but have not been able to purchase it on sale yet. Whenever they have a sale where it's included, it's out of stock, and Sephora unfortunately does not carry it. So one day, but I got another order that included, I selected this as one of the deluxe samples. So I have another tube of this. I would never purchase the body souffle, but the scent, oh, it just makes me happy. Oh, and they often have little, this size of the lip glosses as deluxe samples that you can choose. I can't recommend it enough. I believe they also do cash back. I have a hair somewhere stuck in my face. I gotta fix this because I'm afraid I'm gonna smear my lipstick all over trying to get to it. Ebates, I think, and Mr. Rebates do cash back on LauraMercier.com, and they do have some sales occasionally. So I definitely would recommend ordering from them if it works out for you. They don't carry everything. Sephora doesn't carry their whole line. Maybe some other department stores have a better selection, but yeah. I'm thinking about doing a video about how I save money on makeup, just some kind of tips and things I picked up along the way. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I'll try to move that up in the schedule sometime soon. Because yeah, I feel like I've kind of accumulated a good amount of ideas, and I really have been, I would say about 95% of the makeup I bought this year was discounted in some way. Maybe 97%, because I bought a lot of makeup. I would probably not normally label this as a favorite, but it's kind of my old standby, not old standby, my new standby for mascara. I've bought maybe 3 or 4 tubes of this. This is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher mascara. It's just easy to use. That's what I have on my lashes today. It's kind of like the old Lash Blast volume was for me, where if I didn't know what kind of mascara I wanted to buy and I just wanted something that would work, I would buy it. This, I feel like the brush works a little bit better for me. I don't poke myself in the eye with it. If my mascara has dried and I need to put more on, this builds well. I don't normally do that, but on the rare occasions I do, this handles it nicely. It's just a good, solid, easy mascara. I have been really enjoying red browns for eye makeup lately, and I got MAC Swiss Chocolate. It's a matte formula. It's not the most creamy or smooth or buttery. It's a little dry feeling. It's a little bit sheer, but it is just such a nice color. It doesn't even look super red toned there in a swatch, but there is something about it. I want something that has more red undertone, but I haven't really figured out what that mythical eyeshadow would be. I really like this on the lower lash line, and I have it actually on the top and lower lash line today, and it's just such a nice color. I find myself using it a lot when my hair is really darkly, like a deep red. I can use that in my brows for a more like dramatic look. I just love that color. I love that single. MAC eyeshadows are expensive, but that's one that I'm really glad I bought. Speaking of brows, Anastasia Brow Duo in Soft Brown. I had the medium brown sample that I used up completely and decided to go to soft brown because it's a little darker, a little warmer. I just like how the light color kind of, it's very soft, but it's like the texture. It doesn't go on too strongly, especially like in this front area, which can get really, it can start looking very fake, and I prefer a little bit more of a natural look, and it does it really well. So I really like that brow duo, and I'm really glad I got it. I'll do my other single shadow. This is from Wet n Wild. It's Creme Brulee. I wish this was light enough for a highlight for me, but it's more of a kind of blending out near the crease. I guess it would be considered kind of a transition color. Need to tone down my crease, bring my crease color down a little bit because I have a tendency to get up into my eyebrow. It's just easy to work with. It's really, really affordable. Yeah, just get it. Just get it. Last thing, LORAC Pro palette. This is my favorite eye palette. It is. When I want something that I know will be good, easy, pretty, I go to this. The Naked palette also does similar things for me, but this has colors, and I really like that it has colors, and I like how many mattes it has. It just has a lot of options for mattes. The cream and the white, if I could have those, I wish I could just pop these out and keep it in my little vanity drawer, because mixing those two plus using the white is the perfect brow highlight for me, and I really, really like it. The gold in this is gorgeous. Garnet is gorgeous. They're just all so pretty. I do have the LORAC Pro 2 palette, but this one I like so much more. It's just the colors are colors that I really enjoy. Dyeing my eyebrows. What a revelation. My eyebrows and eyelashes are blonde. Mascara obviously takes care of the eyelash issue, but the eyebrow issue, it's hard coloring in your brows to make them visible without it looking too full on. And also if you like bend down, you can see these like fuzzy blonde hair. It's just amazing to have them dyed, and if I'm not wearing any makeup, I still have visible eyebrows. And since I have a big forehead, I really need some noticeable eyebrows to break that up. And I don't look so tired, and you know, I really like for when I'm wearing makeup and when I'm not wearing makeup to have darker brows. So I got this Godfrey, I don't know, tint kit for spot coloring, it says. And so this is for everything except lashes, despite they have this very clear view of some fake lashes right there. So it's facial hair and eyebrows essentially. This little kit could probably last me a couple of years. They have 20 color capsules and you could use maybe a quarter if you can dole out just a quarter of the powder and then just individually mix it up. It takes like 5 minutes to color the brows, wipe it off, you're good to go. So easy to do and makes such a difference. I would get light brown next time. Medium brown is a little too dark and a little too cool toned for me, but I still love this. Love it. We'll likely do a video on that because that has been probably the single biggest thing for me this year as far as makeup goes. It's been an amazing difference maker for me. Anyway, enough gushing. Last thing, Sonia Kashuk brushes. I really like her brushes. Unfortunately, this one is discontinued. I don't know why they got rid of this one. They have some odd ones in this line. I feel like the white kind of basic line has better regular brushes. The eye brushes in this line tend to be really big, and I don't know what that's all about, but this is an old one. It was a big crease brush or something. I use this every day to set my under eye concealer. I swirl it around in my NARS powder. Love it. So soft. So lovely. The 109, it's kind of like that brush, less dense. It doesn't have all the different, you know, the shortest cut ones are right up here as opposed to this one has, it tapers off pretty far down. This one is much stiffer, much denser, and this one's a little floppier. So this one I do use on my eyes in the crease. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This was from a limited edition set. This one's kind of like the cross between this one and this one. Yeah, this one. So it's a little stiffer. The hair goes down a little bit further, but it's very soft, beautiful. So unfortunately, the 109 is the only one of those that you can still get. 106, this is the flat small shadow brush. I really like this. I can't say I like it more than my other small shadow brushes, except for the Ulta small shadow one. That one's not my favorite. But this one's really nice. I like the size of it. It's gotten softer as I've watched it. And a very recent purchase was this 112. And this is almost like, it reminds me of like a mini, it's not the same shape at all, but there's something about how I can use it that reminds me of a 217 but smaller, which is great for me because I tend to get shadow everywhere. And I've only used it a couple times, and but I'm just talking about Sonia Kashuk brushes, so I can include it, right? Oh, this has made, so far, I've been super, super impressed with how this works for me. So I may do a video about that because it's pretty exciting. I believe that is everything. Do I have any like miscellaneous favorites? I would say the 3M Cloud Library app which is a way to check out library books, library ebooks, has been the best thing for reading for me. For whatever reason, even now that I have time to read paper books, I really prefer being able to check out the ebooks, because then whenever I feel like reading something, all I need is my phone. And so I have read a startling amount of books on my phone. But this is what it looks like when I'm reading. This is Liam Gibson's Neuromancer. I'm taking forever to read this. I have read this before, but I'm having a hard time getting through it. I don't know why. But the first book I read on this was by Peter F. Hamilton, who is one of my favorite science fiction authors, but he tends to write extremely long books. The 3M Cloud Library reading app, all you need is a library card. You may need a PIN code with that library card, and then you can just check out ebooks from that library. So if you have a big library system, you may have a huge selection. If you have a small library system, maybe they don't even work with it. There's also Overdrive, and I haven't used that one because this one's just so easy to use on my phone. But definitely look into that if the 3M Cloud Library is not an option. That one you're reading it outside of the app from what I recall. The 3M one's easy because it's all within the app. So yeah, and you can use that on all sorts of different devices. I have it also on my Nexus 7 tablet. I think that's it for my 2014 favorites. Let me know if you had any standout products for you this year and anything you've been loving. I would love to hear it. Let me know if you have any requests for videos, what you think about the saving money video, if you'd like to see that sometime in the near future. Anything, preferences, if you'd rather see reviews, looks, swatches, that kind of stuff. I would just love to know what you guys want to see. I definitely do have ideas for things that I want to put out there that I think maybe there isn't a lot of stuff out there for. But I also want to show you guys what you would like to see. So yeah, I would love to hear your feedback on that. I hope that you are having a wonderful year. Health and happiness to everyone's family. Thank you so much for getting me up over 200 subscribers. I really appreciate my new subscribers and the ones that have stuck with me. You guys that comment regularly, I love that. It's so nice to have a little bit of interaction with these videos. That makes it a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I think that is everything. So I'll stop babbling for once, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.